Greetings everyone, this is Arctic Fox 223. Since this is my 100th video, I decided to do something a little special. Constantly I'm asked, how do I do my digital art? Or, what is your digital art process? In the following video, I'm going to show you exactly how I do my art from start to finish. I'm no professional by any means, at least I don't think so. I'm always learning different techniques. As many of the people who follow me know, I actually use a variety of art programs. Mostly I use Paint Tool SAI for its ease of use, but I also use Clip Studio and sometimes even Photoshop. Even though I'm using Paint Tool SAI, my process is still the same across the board. So I hope you can follow along even if you're using a different type of program. Depending on what I'm drawing, sometimes I set my parameters a little bit differently than what I normally do. With this exercise, I'm just going to go with the common A4 350 DPI. With any good drawing, you gotta start out with a sketch. And I always make a sketch layer, and for this sketch layer, I'm going to draw in this blue color. I think it will do pretty good to serve its purpose. It'll kind of give you an idea of how I do things. Now, sometimes when I draw, I do two different sketch layers. It depends on what I'm drawing. Sometimes I'll do like a skeletal layer, then I'll do a layer on top of that to kind of flesh things out. Kind of helps with poses and everything else. So we got our sketch layer, and now I'm going to start to draw an apple. You may be thinking, well, that's simple. An apple's easy to draw. Well, maybe so, but trust me, this is going to serve a purpose. Basically, you just do little scratch marks and make your shapes. That usually helps out fleshing your artwork out. So now we have the sketch done of the apple. It's always nice to also include a shade layer, so that way you know where the sunlight's coming in and how you're going to shade this apple. What's the next step? Anybody? Oh yeah, we gotta ink it. Also, if you use SAI, my tools may look a little bit different. I should mention that earlier. I use different parameters because it's what I got used to drawing with. Some of the tools I've actually developed by looking at other artists and their setups, and it feels more natural to me. I have my line pen. I'm going to go ahead and ink the drawing. Notice how I do the lines and how I draw it in a consecutive line. Now, it's really hard to do this, especially when you're starting out, so don't stress too bad about it. Art takes time and takes a lot of practice, and I may make this look easy, but it's not. I'm sorry. And there we have it. We have the ink done. Every time I ink, I always do it in multiple layers. It's easier to manage. I don't have to worry about erasing certain lines that I do not want to erase. And once you get the hang of it, layers are really awesome. So the next thing I want to do is I'm going to start coloring this. So in order to color this, I want to select the magic wand. So we'll select the magic wand, and what we're going to do is we're going to select everything outside of the drawing of the apple. Now, it's not always going to select everything, and you're going to have to go and make sure that everything's selected by using what's called the select tool. And basically it's a select pen. It makes sure that everything's selected that you want to be selected. Now, since I have everything outside the apple selected, I'm going to go up. I'm going to invert this selection. So the only thing that's going to be selected now will be the apple. And then I'm going to create a layer. It's going to be the base layer of the drawing. And we're going to color it an off color, so we're going to go with light blue. We're not going to have a light blue apple, but this is our starting point. So the only thing that's colored now is the apple. Our background is technically transparent. Now, since we have this apple colored blue, we're going to create a folder above that. We're going to put some more folders inside of it, and we're going to start in one of the other folders a layer. But before we do that, we're going to make the main folder a clipping group. And what this does is it allows me to color everything inside the apple without going outside the lines. And that's pretty neat, and it makes things really simple. So now we have our layers made, and we're going to start with our base color. So I'm going to choose this nice little red color, and I'm going to fill everything in. I'm using a Copic pen that I've created, and it's really nice for coloring. I like it, so we're going with that. Got everything colored in. So now we're going to start with our hard shade layer, and I'm going to choose a little bit darker red. I'm going to color it in just like the shade layer in our sketch layer. I'm just going to make sure here that everything lines up real good and that it suits me just fine the way it is, and that it looks good overall. The next layer, without even changing the color, is going to be the soft shade layer. And notice too that I'm clipping these. I'm putting these all in a clipping group. That way they're all connected. It's very nice. So with this soft shade layer, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the watercolor pen or watercolor brush. That sounds a little bit better. Now I want to fill all this in with the shade to kind of correspond with how the lighting's coming in. As you see, the apple is starting to take a little bit more shape. The next layer is going to be our soft light layer. Pretty much the same thing. We're just going to go ahead and put some light here and there. Choosing a little bit brighter red. And just making sure, you know, we know where our light source is coming in. The final layer for the skin of our apple is going to be our hard light layer. Basically, this is going to just be like the sheen off the apple, the reflection of the light. And by no means, this is not a realistic masterpiece or anything. I never planned for it to be. I'm just showing you the steps. So we'll put a little bit of hard light here and a little bit of hard light there, and ta-da, that's done. Also, sometimes I like to fool around with a little other things. I try to put a little bit of green in here and there. Also, the crayon tool is really nice for adding a little bit of texture here and there too. Finally, we're going to go ahead and color the stem. We'll find a nice tan color here, and we'll color it, and we'll follow the same exact schematic. Base color, shade. This time I'm not going to do a soft shade, I'm just going to do a light shade on that. And there you have it. There's an apple. Good job. I must apologize. I've been away for a while, but I've been extremely busy. I've actually been working on a new game. It's called Crimson Core. The demo is out right now and it's on Steam, so check it out when you have time. In conclusion, I said it before and I will say this again. I may make this look easy, but it's not. Takes a lot of practice and a lot of time. You will get frustrated, but just keep at it. Never compare your work to anyone else's. The best way to compare is actually look at your old stuff and now look at your new stuff. See your improvement. That is how you get better. And that's how you keep yourself from getting discouraged. If you're really passionate about your art and you keep at it, you will get better. It just takes time and a lot of patience. Just keep at it. You can do it. This is Arctic Fox 223. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. And if so, can you throw me a like and maybe hit that subscribe button? Thank you for watching.